Yo, what's up everybody? This is Adam with Tales of Inspiration. Hope you're having a good week. Today, I wanted to talk about the best free acting class that you're ever gonna take. And you know what? I heard this from a casting director and I've had my own beliefs about it. There's an old saying about a painter and an apprentice painter. And it says you're always gonna be the apprentice of the painter, of the master painter, and you're never going to become a master of your own craft until you develop your own techniques and your own skills. And as long as this apprentice painter is just using the master's techniques and just following what he does, he's always going to be an apprentice and never a master. And I fully agree with that with acting. And that's the thing, is I'm not trying to say that acting classes are bad, but from the casting director, just like him, he wants to see a change in the industry because it's ridiculous the amount of money some of these teachers are charging students to go to acting classes. They're 300 to like 600 bucks a month sometimes, and they do like those introduction classes where it's like around $600 per class. How ridiculous is that? And when you have about 15 people taking that one introductory course for $600, imagine how much these acting teachers are making. And it's a good thing to get their input and all that on your acting, but in the end, just like this casting director, he told me that everything's subjective. Everybody likes their own different thing. Just like music, everybody likes their own certain type of music. Not everybody likes one song. Maybe a ton of people love this song and it's a hit, but there's also a ton of people that don't like it. And with anything that's art, paintings, movies, there's the handful of people that like it, a handful of people that don't like it. And it's the same thing with acting. You learn from a teacher, and it's good to learn. You should read, you should learn about the basics of it, you should learn about some techniques, but in the end, you gotta come up with your own way of doing it. And that's the hard part, is because we're always waiting for approval. I know as an actor myself, I had a struggle of going through this process and thinking like there's a right way and a wrong way, but there really is no right or wrong way. And who knows to say if there's even bad or good acting. But the thing is we're always waiting for approval. We're always waiting, just like that. You go to an audition, you have a class, you finish your scene, and what's the first thing that every actor does after a scene? Instead of thinking like, damn, I nailed that scene, I did it exactly how I wanted, they stop the scene and they look at the teacher and they're just waiting to hear what the teacher has to say for it. Well, I think that's kind of ridiculous, and as an artist, you got to do your own thing, and you got to come up with your own techniques. You got to come up with how you feel to do it, and you just got to keep practicing. And I think that's what acting classes are, because I heard some friends tell me how they've been in classes for 5 to 7 years of the same class. I get bored of the class after the first month. I can't sit in a class because most of them are 3, sometimes they're even 5 hours long or longer, and you're sitting in there and you're just listening. And it's good sometimes to hear what the teacher has to say about other people, but it's just repetitive over and over, and they're always talking about, you should do this, you should try this, you should, and it's just suggestions. That's all it is. It's not like they're gonna be like, oh yeah, this is what you have to do that, and you're gonna book the job, because it doesn't work like that. So that's all acting class is, but everybody's getting overcharged, and they're paying this ridiculous amount of money to teachers that are just taking advantage of people. And the same thing, like, I appreciate those casting director workshops, but in the end, you're going in and you're paying 35 to like 60 bucks, sometimes even more, for 2 minutes of their time, because you do like a 2-page scene. And majority of the time, if they're not casting for a person like you gotta hit it lucky. Then you're not gonna get anything. They're not gonna call you in. So that's what I'm saying is, I've been trying it and it's hard to get people to actually do it, but get your friends, get other actors, and get together. Make it a point to get together at least once a week and go over scenes and just practice. And that's the thing I see too, just filming short films myself with me and my buddy. I see a lot of the actors that we get in the films, they go over it in their head so much, and they go into or they do the work that you say, the scene study, all that, and they have this idea of how the character should be played. And a lot of the times, it's not like they argue back, but you just want to see it a different way. You want to see this scene this way because you come up with an idea at the last minute and you want to change it, and the actor has it in their head and they're just stuck on doing it this one way. And so you tell them to do it, you're like, oh, okay, this time do it this way, and they agree with you, but a lot of the time they don't take the direction well, and they still do it almost not exactly the same way as they did it before, but pretty similar to the way that they do it before, just because they have it stuck in their head and they repeated it over and over 100 times the same way. And then when they get to the shoot date, and then they do it the same exact way over and over and over, and it's like, it's good, but I mean, that's the main thing as an actor, is you're telling a story, and you want to find interesting ways to tell the story, and not always sticking to conventional, okay, this is real, this is how we would do it. Sometimes doing things that are odd or out there are more interesting than what a normal person would do, because I mean, I'm a normal person just like everybody else, and I could tell you my normal everyday life is not like a movie. There's plenty of boring times in it, and that's the main thing, is get with your buddies, get with your friends, and just practice, and practice different ways, and try different things. And it's not about doing it right and wrong, it's about if it feels good to you, just like anything. You're working out, you're running, you're playing sports, you're doing whatever it is. If it feels good to you, then most likely it's going to feel good, and other people are going to notice it and like it too. So you don't have to be waiting for approval from a teacher, from a casting director, from whoever it is that you're doing the scene right. You just got to do it, and do it the best to your ability, and find interesting things. That's the whole beauty about acting, is you are telling a story. It isn't real life, but you do want to play the character truthful, but you also want to make it interesting, because most of the time, nobody like me who wants to sit and watch me sit on a couch talking to people about random stuff, right? So you got to find ways to make it interesting, and that's all I'm saying. And get in there, practice with your friends, even by yourself. Practice by yourself in front of a camera, but it's better if you practice with a friend or just a group of friends, and you film yourself, and you just try it different ways, and don't get stuck on, oh, this is how it has to be, this is how it has to be, because it's not true. It doesn't have to be that way. That's why they have all these movies that are about the same thing, but or repeats, remakes of the movies, but they're different. They're not the same exact movie. It's not like watching, what was a new movie that came out that's a remake of an old movie recently. I can't really think of any right now, but you don't go watch it and you're like, oh man, that was exactly the same way as the other movie. No, they change it, they make it different. They want to change it with the times. I'm guessing, oh, even Aladdin, that was one of the ones. They didn't make it exactly like the cartoon. They had it pretty similar, but they changed some stuff, and they're trying to change it with the generation that is different than the generation when the first Aladdin came out. So yeah, this is going to be the best free acting class that you ever took. All it's going to take and cost you is your time and finding the right people to do it, and make sure you're with people that are motivated. You don't want to be with somebody that's just like, oh yeah, let's get in there and do this. You want somebody that's excited about it too, and somebody that's going to push you, because it's always good to have somebody to push you. So that's my advice. Enjoy it, take it with you. Maybe you'll save some money. Maybe doing this will get some students out of classes and out of the coaching. Oh, that was the last thing too about that. You hire a coach to tell you what to do, and it's not like that. Like, you pay a coach for the coaching session for your thing, and it's good to go over it, but in the end, all you're doing is you're paying somebody to practice that scene with, and they're just confirming, telling you, oh yeah, this is good, you're doing it great, yeah, you made some good choices. So then you feel good about the audition when you go in. I mean, you can do that same thing with your friends. You just go over it, get the audition, make sure you nailed it, have your friend tell you, and I'm sure your friend's going to be honest with you. They're not just going to give you some BS answer and be like, oh, that's perfect, go in, unless they're that kind of friend. But yeah, I mean, a coach, you pay them $100 an hour, $200 an hour, however much. There's costly ones, and that's all they're doing. They're telling you how they want to see it. They're telling you to do it the way they want to see it. And that's the thing, you want to be a master of your craft, not a student all the time. So there's my advice. It's Tales of Inspiration with Adam. Go out there, get your thing done, subscribe, like, share with your friends, and I guarantee you, you're not gonna hate that you went out and practiced with your buddies and didn't spend $300 on a class. Until next time, peace.